Harry's public attacks took a heavy toll and the Queen had had enough before she died. Prince Harry may have paid tribute to her in his controversial memoir, but experts believe the Queen will be disappointed by his comments about other family members. Following the death of Prince Harry's grandmother last September, his relationship with the rest of the royal family can be described as irritable at best. Welcome to Royal Pancakes. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any news about the British monarchy. Rocked by Oprah Winfrey's explosive interview in March 2021, and fears that he and his wife's company launch in the Netflix documentary Harry and Meghan could set off more bombs. Then, less than a month before the Queen's death, Meghan's Spotify podcast Archetypes appeared, in which she detailed how being a royal has affected her mental health. Sussex's public attack on the royal family comes at a difficult time for the Queen, whose health has deteriorated significantly since the loss of her husband Prince Philip last April. With so much happening while she was alive, it must have made the last year even more difficult for her, royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams said. Oprah aired it while Prince Philip was sick. The attacks during this period, especially from Oprah, took their toll. But Spare takes things to another level. Harry's memoirs were published just 4 months after the Queen's death and a month after the Sussex trilogy aired on Netflix. In the drama, Harry claims Prince William shouted at him in front of the Queen when he and Meghan planned to leave the British royal family. He also repeated claims of racism within the royal family, accusing the Windsors of unconscious bias. Released in early January this year, Spare is, if anything, more revealing than anyone expected. He also claimed the Princess of Wales left the former actress on the floor crying after a pre-wedding row over her bridesmaid's dress. He even claimed that William and Kate personally supported his tacky decision to wear a Nazi costume to a fancy dress ball in 2005, a choice he later admitted was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. While his father King Charles had it relatively easy, Harry said he wasn't very emotionally expressive when he was younger. The same can't be said for his stepmother Queen Camilla. But to most's relief, there was no fateful news about his dead grandma. While Queen Elizabeth is unscathed, royal experts say she will be deeply troubled by the memoir and interviews Harry has given to promote it. "I think she would be very disappointed," Richard Fitzwilliams said. "She will no doubt feel that this is damaging to the institution of the monarchy, especially among young people, so I think she will feel aggrieved." Royal author Hugo Vickers also believes the late monarch would have rejected Spar, suggesting she was fed up with a series of revelations about Harry and Meghan in the months before her death last September. "I think the Queen is just fed up with it all," he said. "It got to that stage and her line was, 'Okay, I've done my job, and if you want to mess it up in the future, that's up to you.' She divides the work well, does the main work and ignores the painful and difficult things, but it must have been terrible." Although Harry took aim at his brother and Queen Camilla in his memoirs, he hinted at hopes of a reconciliation when he spoke to ITV's Tom Bradby on the eve of the book's release. "I want my father back, I want my brother back," he said. "The ball is in their court. There is a lot to discuss and I really hope they are willing to sit down and discuss." Hugo claimed that King Charles was just as willing to reconcile, even though his family was heavily ridiculed. "I think the king had a lot of self-control and didn't make any public statements at all," he said. "My theory is that he wanted to leave the door open so my son could come back if the need arose." But royal writer Robert Jobson said the late Queen's most serious problems were personal attacks on other members of her family, such as her alleged falling out with William, as well as the story of Meghan's alleged personal conflict with the Princess of Wales. "I think there's really a level of detail in the rift between Meghan and Catherine, and the rift between Harry and William, Roberts said. She will see this as damaging to the long-term future of the modern monarchy. There is no doubt that she will be disappointed. She always wanted things to be at home, and it was published, presumably to make money. But while many members of Harry's family may be hurt by his claims, Roberts says the Queen's logical approach to problem solving would have helped her deal with most of Spare's problems.